Recently, I watched a film called Kiss of the Spider-Woman, the story of two prisoners, a left-wing journalist, and a gay man who escapes into a world of fantasy by remembering the old movies he used to watch. It's a brilliant film about the relationship between fantasy and reality, the tenuous nature of ideology, and the idea of psychological versus physical prisons. Yet my enjoyment of the film was slightly shaken when I realized that the actor playing Melina, the gay character in the film, was not himself gay. Now keep in mind that this was a film made in the late 80s, and it was a lot more subversive and controversial to even have a gay character in the movies, much less have the kind of representation for LGBT actors in films like we do today. I find myself torn on the fact that even though I believe the actor William Hurt gave a absolutely phenomenal performance, maybe it wasn't his performance to give. In this sense, the film comes off as a bit dated, as you get the sense that even having a gay character is a bit of a big deal. But I'll stand by the fact that the film still gave a very meaningful and important message, and I don't think that response was invalid just because of the casting. Recently, straight actors have been getting a lot of flack for playing LGBT characters when the part could have gone to an actual trans or gay performer. An example of this is Eddie Redmayne and the Danish Girl and the controversy that caused. The question is really, is it okay for a straight actor to play a gay character? It's at this point that I have to admit that I'm not the one who should be answering this question. So I went around and tried to get the opinions of actual gay men who I showed this film to. I wanted to see if, one, they felt as though the film, and particularly the character of Melina, resonated with them. Two, if they felt as though the way the character was written and portrayed was an honest and accurate depiction of gay men. And three, if the actor being straight made a difference to their enjoyment or emotional connection to the film. I asked some friends of mine these questions, and these were the answers I got.
I don't mind that it's actually played by a straight man, because in my opinion, acting is embodying something that you're not. And to be able to do that, I think speaks to the mindfulness of the actor.
He didn't seem like a false person though. He's just not someone that I relate to or that I've interacted with a lot. But he didn't seem too outlandish or anything.
He likes to play pretend in a way. It's like he likes to live in this like fantastical world, and he even I think addresses it in the film. But I think in some ways like we all kind of do that, and I think it's a form of coping when you are someone who is oppressed in the real world. So you kind of have to make your own. You gotta make your own reality in some ways. There's a flashback aspect where he's talking with this straight waiter, and it gets revealed that they don't have a physical relationship, but it's more or less a companionship. And I think a lot of gay men can identify with that kind of level of companionship, that longing for, their own relationship that they've seen with, a lot of hetero couples, and just being able to have that kind of connection. But he has to, at the same time, settle for this companionship. It's nice and it's not wholesome, because he doesn't get to experience everything that he wants to in what he wants for a relationship. And he says he's still searching for that man, but I think that's also something that I think a lot of gay people have had to identify with.
If there's one thing that sort of weirded me out a little bit, it was the how they portrayed being a gay man with women and femininity, as in like, oh, that's a one-to-one thing. If you're gay, then you're gonna cry a lot, and then that's associated with women, and it's like not those three things aren't like mutually exclusive.
It's like anything. It's like it's not one depiction does not speak for every person. That goes for any kind of way any kind of like category of, or however you want to categorize people. But he's someone who kind of like makes his own plays pretend and likes to have fun. And I don't consider him playing pretend the same thing as dressing up. It is an aspect, but he does actually talk about, maybe he doesn't necessarily know how to identify with himself, but he maybe identifies more as a transgender woman, because he does say at one part in the film that he wants to like basically cut off his genitals. So, and he does wear makeup and dresses up. So I don't think that necessarily is a forward-thinking depiction of what a gay person can be or a gay male can be, but maybe represents yet another kind of like underdeveloped notion of like what a trans female could be.
Like he's in prison, but he's got like his whole wardrobe splayed out in the cell. They have nothing to do with his character or like who he is as a person. It's just obvious hallmarks just to say like he's gay, he's flamboyant, yay.
Yeah. Like you have this white straight man playing this Brazilian gay guy, and he doesn't. I mean, I can't speak for the culture, but he comes off as a flamboyant American. I think for that time it was still, you know, it's just progressive to even have that as a main character of a film. So, you know, get it where you can take it, I guess. Which is not actually a great thing, but you know.
So there you have it, that's what they think. But what about you? What do you think? Does representation matter in a film if the story and characters are still meaningful? Does it matter if the actor who plays a character isn't gay, but their performance is still accurate and truthful to the gay experience? Leave a comment and let me know what you think. Also, if you like this video, please make sure to subscribe to my channel, Passailaigue Productions, follow my Facebook and Twitter page, and check out my Patreon.